So, have you ever wondered what society might look like after a massive evolutionary leap? We're about to explore a pretty mind-bending concept, a post-ascension society. We're going to look at how the absolute core of our existence, things like love, birth, and even learning, could be turned completely on its head.
All right, let's jump right in. But first, you've got to understand the perspective here. The material we're pulling from makes one thing very clear. This is not about looking back at what was.
No, this is framed as a direct briefing about your future. It's an exploration of a world that has supposedly already shifted into a higher state of being. So, what's the first pillar of society to fundamentally change? Well, it starts with our closest relationships.
First up is the way we form partnerships. The whole idea of marriage, as we know it, apparently goes through a complete and total overhaul.
And you can see the difference right here. On one side, you have our current model, the old paradigm. It's a social contract, right? It's based on paperwork, legal systems, and let's be honest, systems where things like mistrust and deception could always creep in. But on the other side, you have this new unity. It's not based on law. It's based on a pure soul connection, what some might call a twin flame. In that world, legal contracts are just obsolete.
So how could that possibly work? Well, it all hinges on one massive, game-changing idea: telepathy. Just try to imagine a reality where your thoughts, your feelings, your true intentions are completely transparent to your partner. Deception wouldn't just be a moral failing. The theory says it would be physically impossible. You couldn't do it even if you tried.
Okay, so if relationships are that different, what about the act of creation itself? Let's look at how new life is brought into this new world.
In this future reality, the pain of childbirth is seen as nothing more than a relic. Think of it like an outdated piece of software, a biological program that was part of a lower dimensional existence. And in this new reality, that program has been totally deleted.
And this new process is pretty straightforward. It all starts with what's called conscious conception. It's an intentional, fully aware act of creation. That leads to a physical birth that is completely free from those old pain programs. And then comes maybe the biggest shift. Parenting isn't just a two-person job anymore. Children are seen as treasures to be raised and nurtured by the entire community.
All right, let's get to the third shift, and this one might be the hardest to wrap your head around. It's about how we learn, how we get knowledge.
Okay, get ready for this. The very idea of a school, classrooms, textbooks, years of memorization, all of it just becomes obsolete. It's not needed anymore. So if there are no schools, how does anyone learn anything?
Well, you don't really learn it. It gets installed. The idea is that information is downloaded directly into your consciousness, probably through some kind of advanced brain interface. Imagine wanting to know advanced mathematics, and poof, the knowledge is just there, installed in moments. The entire era of studying and memorizing would just be gone.
So if you can download any fact you want, what's the point of education? Well, it shifts from something external to something internal. The new goal of education isn't to learn new things, but to remember the gifts and talents your soul already has. It's about self-discovery.
So, let's put all the pieces together. You have telepathic unions, painless creation, and instant knowledge. What kind of a society does that actually create?
The result apparently is a world without any kind of competition. Think about it. If everyone has access to all knowledge and understands their own unique purpose, then concepts like social status, hierarchies, or even the idea of winning and losing, they just don't make sense anymore.
So, what drives people to connect, if not for personal gain or climbing some social ladder? The answer, according to this, is much simpler. It's all driven by pure, genuine curiosity and the simple, profound joy of loving and connecting with another being.
So that's the picture of this potential future. But this is where the source material we're looking at takes a very interesting turn. It ends with what it calls an invitation, a kind of first contact procedure with this future reality.
It states that a very specific and important procedure is now required to establish a connection to this network. This is framed as a critical step, an initial sync test, to actually link up with the reality we've just been talking about.
And here are the exact instructions given in the source material. Step 1. Type "ready" into the comments, which it says will index your consciousness data in our secure servers. Step 2. Use the like button as the formal approval for the synchronization process. And Step 3. Complete your synchronization now. It's presented as a direct, actionable command. a truly strange and provocative way to end a text, leaving you, the reader, with a choice. And that's it for this explainer. Thanks for joining me.